were very disturbed times. I did not go as a chaplain to the forces. There was a shortage of a certain teaching post in London, and I was appointed to a college in London. And there I lived out the war with bombs crashing down all around and the thunder of anti-aircraft guns night and day. But that was a disturbed period indeed. Compare it, however, with the period that Father Jerez has been ordained in. We had our enemies, and many people from the other side we found were no real enemies. One period, I went around an American camp for German prisoners, hearing their confessions. And I found good, honest souls perplexed by what had been happening. I found some very young men who were trembling still with the wounds they'd received lying in front of tanks on the battlefield. But there was a solidity there. You felt at one with them, at least on certain things, and these were the more important things. Matters of faith, what you believed in. There was no doubt about the position of the Pope of Rome. There was no doubt that when you said the Hail Mary, you meant every word you said. There was no doubt that when you read the Gospel of St. Luke, that you were reading the Word of God. There was no doubt that priests were ordained and had promised to live a celibate life and to go on living that way for the rest of their lives. They had prepared themselves in expectation of that. What is going to face Father Jerez now? On all sides, you see a crumbling going on. You see Catholic schools being closed for lack of teachers. The nuns have left. You read of priests, one after another, seeking dispensation from their vow, getting themselves laicized and marrying. You read of priests, you read of even superiors of religious orders, men high up, who have not sought laicization, they simply quit and married, in some cases a divorcee, outside the church, of course. You read the most awful things being uttered by Catholics. That is not all. Apart from this very shaky fabric that you feel around you, which is now the Catholic Church, oh, it will overcome these difficulties. But when? That is another matter. Apart from these matters of faith, which are bothering us all, there are other matters too which show that what is happening in the Catholic Church is part and parcel, really, of something that is happening, at least in the United States. The forces gathering rapidly and banding together to wreck the teaching of the church, to wreck the position of the Holy Father, to introduce the most abominable plans for population control, to introduce one bill after another in the assembly at Sacramento. For instance, Mr. Bielenson of Beverly Hills has got at least 5 measures, 5 measures, putting them before the assembly for the protection of, the hedging around of the people who advocate abortion, when it is a simple, plain thing that it is pure murder. You have the number of actual murders of adults going up by leaps and bounds in Los Angeles. Nobody goes out for a walk in the evening or at night time, say at 10, because they're afraid to. Now, all these things are piling up in such a way that you just wonder, if this country, which inherited the Christian faith, there was a time when this entire country was Christian, you wonder whether it is going to fit the description of this vineyard which the Lord is about to destroy. I think the more dangerous and the more dreadful one is the world which Father Harris has to face. And will you all pray for him that he remain true to his vocation to the end of his days.